Yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's
All
the
right,
goal.
let's go. Shout out to everybody on the live. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Arys Dejan with another episode 3. It's official. We are here. I want to welcome everybody. You are the Who and How Club. I am the Who and How Club. We are the Who and How Club. And you are officially tuning in. I want to send a special shout out to everybody who's on the live stream right now on Instagram. We appreciate you watching us and tuning in. Today's a big episode, and I'm going to do my best to take my time. No rush today. I've been waiting for this moment to have somebody else in front of me so I can actually, bring that energy out, because doing the show by myself, sitting in a room just talking to myself, there's a bit of a challenge. You know what I mean?
It's not the same.
It's not the same. So I got some energy in the room with us tonight. So everybody's going to be tuning in. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, follow us. Follow the show at Who How Club on all social media platforms. Also, the website is whohowclub.com. And also, you can follow me at Only1Arys, ONLY, the number 1, ARYS. And just connect with me over either email, Instagram, Twitter, or even, just wherever you could find me or the show. Connect with us. Just before the show, before we pushed record, we said a little prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And we just wanted to thank our creator and, just welcome that energy in.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever you're at tonight, anybody listening in, just know that, we're spreading that energy to you as well. And we really appreciate everybody just tuning in and being a part of this experience tonight. And we're spreading that joy all across, the platforms tonight.
Yes.
We gotta get the lights back. You got it? All right. So aside from the general stuff, I decided that whenever I have a guest on the show, it's not just an interview, it's a conversation. It's the sharing of energy, sharing of perspectives, sharing of hearts, minds, souls, etc. So it's not just an interview. I want to make sure that people get to experience this and be a part of this experience. That's why I choose to record these types of episodes and invite people onto the live stream and all of that jazz. So it's definitely a special episode. So if you want to introduce yourself, let the people know who this voice is in the background.
Yeah. My name is Sage Longclaws. This is we're in my backyard.
We are
in downtown Toronto, so
we're getting bitten right now.
A little bit, yeah. That's
yeah.
okay. It's worth it.
So for those who listened to last week's episode, I announced who the first guest of the show would be, and this gentleman is a colleague of mine. We work together, and we've connected in many ways. So I thought it would be right for him to be sort of like the guinea pig, and let's test the waters with him and see how this goes. But all in all, I think it was the way him and I have connected. I thought I wanted to take that out of the work setting and go into his setting, into his environment, and to meet him where he's at, and to just have a conversation and to share it with all of you. Before we get into who Sage is and the crux of this episode, if you guys remember last week, I also asked a question, which was I was curious to know who did what over the long weekend, and I was very specific. I wanted to know who was not partying or drinking or getting hella, shit-faced, I guess, to post it on Instagram and show those stories. I wanted to know who did what outside of, the norm, because obviously, as you guys know, I kind of chilled. I played it low-key. So I did have a few submissions, and I wanted to just shed light on one of the submissions that was pretty dope. She shared what she did. And if you want to follow this person, this submission comes from at Swati Garg, and that's SWATIGARGG. She's definitely a supporter of the show and the movement. So Swati Garg, she submitted last week. She said that All right, let's read it verbatim. She said, "Hey, I just listened to your new episode, Trust Your Guts, as you asked people to touch base with you who didn't party or cottage for the long weekend. She said, Saturday, I took my housemates' dogs to the park and walked around Farmer's Market and then went for meditation, which I was missing for a long time." She said that was on Saturday. Sage, do you meditate?
I try to. It's
Yeah?
tough though, you know,
Yeah?
to keep your mind clear for like 5 minutes even.
When's the
Yeah.
last time you meditated?
I tried to do it earlier today, actually. Yeah.
Like before the show?
Yeah.
Like for the show purposes?
Yeah,
Or
it was a few hours ago. I was just laying there trying to do it. but-
laying?
Yeah,
How did
laying.
it go? How did it go?
Nah, it went okay, but then lyrics always come to my mind from like a song or something, right?
Say that again?
Lyrics always come into my
Lyrics.
mind, right?
Okay,
from
okay.
a song or something.
Yeah.
So then I just started thinking about that.
Okay.
Mm.
So would you say it was a successful meditation?
Yeah, it was good. Feel it right. Because sometimes you just gotta sit there and try and stop thinking and just be. And so it was nice to just sit there, let your mind clear for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Is that something you kind of needed before we sat together? Was
Yeah,
that kinda,
yeah,
like,
because
to get your
sometimes
mind right?
yeah, because sometimes you just want to be clear before you take something on, right? So I find meditation works quite well, and even just a couple of minutes will
Yes.
work, right? So
Yes.
it doesn't have to be like a hour-long thing.
Yes.
Mm.
I agree. We'll stick a pin in that and get back to that. She said Sunday, I went to church as always, and then I had to be the MC at the receptionist, so I was working the evening. And today, which I think was the Monday, she said, I spoke to all my family back in India. Probably will go for another meditation session or go to the beach to relax. Hence, no crazy weekend plans for her or for me, is what she said. And then she added some stuff about the gut feeling and the concept of the episode, which we don't need to get into that. But I was curious to know, who did what last week. Sage, what did you do over the long weekend?
Not much. Me and I think I went out the Friday night with Natalie, and so that was fun. Friend of mine, my girlfriend.
Natalie is the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so that was fun.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
But then we went out on, I didn't do much, Saturday, Sunday. But then we went to Woodbine Beach on Monday. And that was fun. I actually got kind of burnt, so my stomach and that is still a little tight with the shirt. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to share your stories, right? If I ask you something on the show, I'm looking for your submissions. I'm looking for your stories. I wanna share your experiences on the show as well. You're a part of the club just as much as Sage is and just as much as I am. This is mine. This is yours. This is ours. Yeah, feel free to send me your stories, especially after today. We're going to be introducing a new segment called Ask the Club. So that's where everybody gets a chance to pose some questions. It could be about anything. Obviously, the guest on the show will also have some questions of their own to either bring to the table to ask me or you folks out there. And you folks out there can also answer the questions that are asked. So we'll introduce that a bit later. But for now, we're going to jump right into it and get to know Sage. Sage Longclaw or Claws.
It's actually
Plural?
claws. Yeah, it's plural.
Okay.
Yeah, it's plural.
So you want to talk about your name?
Yeah.
I'm assuming people always ask about your name.
Yeah, Sage
And
Longclaws.
where it derives from and all of that.
Initially,
Talking to the mic.
yeah. So I'm from Manitoba.
Okay.
Yeah, and so my reserve is called Wewesikapo. It's like right by the...
So Sage is native.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
native, Aboriginal, Indigenous.
Yeah.
And so Longclaws is a native derives from Wewesikapo and Long Plains First
Can I
Nation.
pronounce that? Let me.
Wewesikapo.
Wewesikapo.
Yeah.
And what is that?
It's a reserve.
Okay.
It's a nice reserve. I enjoy it a lot.
Yes.
And that's kind of where my family lineage comes from.
Mm.
And Longclaws, they've been around for a long time, hundreds of years, back in the day, before there was the Canada and American border, like
Yes.
North Dakota,
Yes.
southern Manitoba, southern Saskatchewan,
Mm.
I want to say Minnesota.
Yes.
They were all kind of like in with each other,
Okay.
our people back then. So Longclaws was a name that came from that time period. That was like 1700 years ago, or in the 1700s century. And now today, it's just a great name to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see Longclaws, I'm like, I want that name, man.
I know. I know.
That's like a superhero name or like
Yeah, my friends at school used to
code
bug
name.
me. Yeah, like Wolverine, like an X-Men, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody in your family has that last name.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah.
Now, excuse the ignorance. Is there ever a time where like you might have a different? Actually, no. I think I know the answer to this question, but like how far does that name go back?
See, the thing is like once you get past like 100 years ago, there really is nothing recorded, right?
Okay.
So everything's got to be passed down orally.
Okay.
That's about as far as I can think of it to go. Like other famous last names are Sitting Bull.
Yes.
Things like that.
That's in your family or no?
No,
Like
just people that were, other last names that are around at the time.
Yes.
But yeah, Longclaws, I just can't really think of it past like the 1900s.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, when I first, I think I found out your name when I was asking for your email address.
Yeah.
Either your email address or your Instagram. And yeah, you were like, yeah, that's my name. So I thought that was pretty
unique.
Yeah. Definitely. Maybe we could talk about how we know each other a little bit.
Yes.
I try not to focus on what we do because I truly believe that a lot of people, they'll try to define themselves based on what they do. And I think that we're deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think still acknowledging the things that we do, I mean, it's still an extension of who we are, right?
No, yeah, I think the population that we serve is important, right?
Yes. So maybe we want to talk about how we know each other and...
Yeah.
All right, so Sage and I know each other from work. We won't delve into like positions and stuff like that or titles, but him and I pretty much work together in an organization that serves, the homeless population.
Mm-hmm.
And Sage is pretty new to the organization, as am I. But yeah, like we know each other through work. We've worked together for not that long. We've been in training. We were in training for a while. Then we worked together for the past couple months now. But it wasn't until we had like a really dope conversation at work where I felt like, okay, this guy, I fucks with this guy. Like I could really connect with this guy outside of work. Like I feel like you and I would be friends. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like
I feel like we'll be friends. Yeah.
And you're also a Taurus too, right?
Yeah. So we got that.
We connected on that too.
Yeah.
So what's it like working with me?
It's the best, man.
I'm fucking with you. I'm assuming.
Never a dull moment, you know.
So why do you do the work that you do? Why did you choose this field?
I really enjoy it, especially the last 4 months, like getting to know those guys, getting to understand. Especially here in Toronto, it's a lot different than out in Manitoba. You don't get so many people from all over the world. I mean, to be blunt, all the different ethnicities, and when you get to actually know some of these people, you realize it's much further than addiction or their choices in their life, their problems, their issues, right? A lot of guys struggle with mental health in some form or another, and a lot of them don't have the kind of support that I had growing up. You know what I mean? Like especially some of the younger guys. The older guys, they're in a different space or a different time, I suppose. But the younger guys, like the guys in their late 20s, early 30s, I don't think they ever had much support.
Do you feel like there's more hope for the younger folks that we serve versus the older folks?
To an extent. It seems like the older folks, since they've already been through it, it's like they understand or they take their time.
Yes.
Trying to find housing or whatever. But the younger guys, it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of them struggle with whatever issues, trauma they came up with.
Yes.
Or currently, like their mental health. And even things like, having seizures, right, on a regular basis. Like how can you possibly work certain jobs if you're having seizures here and there, right? And the rest of the time they're fine, So I could really kind of begin to understand that when you sit down and actually have a real conversation with these guys and ladies.
And ladies, yes.
Yeah.
From your perspective, do you find that maybe some of the older folks are kind of stuck in their ways? Like, do you remember when we were younger, people would say, like, we saw people who were older than us, and they would become stuck in their ways. they weren't open to changing anything about whether it was about themselves or their environment. They just got stuck in their ways. A certain generation got stuck. And do you feel like a lot of the older folks that we that we try to support, they don't want the help, or they're refusing it because they don't want to change? Like this is like they're kind of stuck in this.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. I mean, a lot of what you do see is a lot of anxiety and to some degree like some kind of depression, right? I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist.
Yes.
I can't give disorders, but it just seems like they can't seem to get the next step that they need in order to just simply get housing or make that job application, right?
Yeah.
Whereas many of us can. And when they get stuck in their ways, I guess maybe that's all they know. Yeah. Is kind of being on the streets for the last 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And I imagine too, like a few of them, their family members in that probably step away, step aside, or whatever it is. Let them do their thing, right? So
it becomes a choice at that point, no?
Right? Yeah.
Are people, do you find that people, like that's a lifestyle?
Yeah.
Like people have chosen to live this lifestyle?
Once they get to like 40 or something, 35, it's like this is the life that they live now, right? And it's like, what's the point of... Because you want to have a career. Let's say we have a career starting today. Like we're in our 30s, right? We could have a 25-year, 30-year career by the time you're 60.
Yeah.
And these guys, they hit 40 and stuff. They're like, oh, the hell with it.
That's it.
Yeah. I kind of see that. That's why I got more with the younger guys,
Yeah. I could go into the work thing so much because it can be a bit depressing too. Like we get paid to help these folks or support them. I try not to use the word help anymore.
No, me neither.
You know what I mean? I don't think I'm able to help anybody, but supporting, I think I'm able to do that to the best of my capability and as much as another person wants the support. Because you can't support someone who doesn't want it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or help someone, right? So, like, we just have to meet people where they're at and do our best to kind of meet them where they're at and adjust ourselves to their lifestyles, their views on things. And some of these people might not ever get the help that we think they need. Maybe they don't think they need the help that we think they need. Maybe housing isn't the answer.
Yeah. Well, that's what I started to realize. You take a step back and like just simply getting up in the morning, doing breakfast at 8 o'clock, doing lunch at 12. The structure of it, being there for nighttime, whatever it is, right? Yes. Just that simple structure is a lot for these guys and girls, right? So that in and of itself, plus if you have us come in and just, really just have a conversation with them. Talk to them like you're on the same level with them, regardless of whatever their appearance is or where they're at.
We didn't cheers. I want us to cheers first, quickly. The lights, the sensor. Let's cheers to a good episode. Welcome to the Who and How Club, sir.
Yeah. Great to be here.
You're supposed to drink when you cheers.
Okay.
And eye to eye.
Oh, okay. It's kind of intimate.